Yo, Leoric here. Today, I want to be talking about a bit of a different topic, more of a discussion video. And this would be, what would you prefer in a game? Say the game is a perfect game, but it's got to have one negative thing about it. In this video, I'm going to be comparing two things, like, for example, this is also going to be the base of the video, DLC versus loot boxes. You have to choose one of them, but they'll be new game. Okay, let's start off with loot box system. Loot boxes, we all know what that is. A lot of us don't like them, and the way games put them in, it's kind of a form of gambling. I think some countries now have banned them completely. Maybe by the end of the year, hopefully more ban them, because I'm not a fan of loot boxes. If they implement it wrong, which is too frequent for my liking, so I prefer them being banned. They can be implemented right, where they work really well and they help the player a lot. DLC itself can be, most of the time it's good, but it can be very wrong. Like, you can pay for DLC that you think you get a lot more content out of the game, but it won't be that much. And you have to pay for it. For you to play the game and get the next part of it, you would have to pay for this DLC. Now, if both are implemented right, which one would you prefer? And if both are implemented wrong, which one do you prefer? For example, if, say, loot boxes were implemented right, the right way, like it's only cosmetics. This is the example if it's a multiplayer game, but it's only in cosmetics. It'll only come in cosmetic form. It won't improve your game any other way except cosmetics. Would you be okay with that? But if there's any updates of the game that could be the form of DLCs, they'll be free because it's a way of the game and making some revenue from the cosmetics. For example, the way PUBG is a base price. It's like £20, £22 or something like that. And there's no other fees while playing it. All you can pay for in the game would be loot boxes, and that's a choice. And you're not forced into getting a loot box. A loot box does nothing for you except cosmetics, but you get basically free map upgrades, free map DLCs every now and then. This could be a lot better than DLC if the loot boxes are paying for this. I don't pay for loot boxes anyway, so maybe that's what I see. But if there's a player that likes playing for loot boxes, then I can see why they would hate this. But at the same time, you're paying for it out of your choice, and all it does is give you cosmetics. It's not giving you any other buff in the game. This is where I think loot boxes could actually be DLC, that you're getting free DLC because of all the loot boxes. Now, let's go to the other end on DLC. DLC itself is amazing when it's on the right game. Some games, they can say DLC or expansions that could cost so much, and you get hardly anything for it, and you feel like you've been ripped off. Destiny 2 put me off it with its DLCs. Destiny 1 had terrible DLCs. It started getting better near the end. Destiny 2, DLCs still put me off. I hate talking about Destiny because I like the gameplay itself. I might play some. I like playing. I never say I'll never play a game again because I might feel like playing it. DLC in Destiny puts me off. Not to speak of DLC. It got DLC and it got loot box system, and both are implemented terribly. Very, very terribly. Cosmetics mainly, but you can't have both and have bad DLC. That's the way I think about it. You cannot justify the price of the DLC when you have a loot box system in the game and your DLC is not that good, and when you're cutting content out from upgrades of DLC. Stuff like that really gets on my nerves. That's why I kind of stopped the game. I'm just going to part ways with it as much as I can right now. I do feel like playing it now and then, but stuff like that, like the DLC itself, it's ruined it for me. That's what puts me off getting DLC now. If a game has day one DLC, I'm normally put off by it, because it shouldn't, that's content they just cut out just to sell to you. And I know sometimes it's not, it was purposely there, but anything with just an expansion, when I say DLC, I really mean an expansion. That's why I should get clear. DLC could be anything, like you could buy DLC with clothes and stuff like that there. But if you're paying for an expansion, you should get a lot more stuff than you would otherwise. So it's a difficult one for me to pick a loot box over a DLC/expansion. But in this case, I think, personally, I would choose a loot box system like this. But the only reason why that benefits me, because I don't pay for loot boxes. I never have. This is the thing. If a game, would you prefer paying for a game, what you get, like you know what you get in and you pay for that, and that's it? Or would you prefer paying for a loot box system which is randomly generated, but it helps the developer and upgrades the game every now and then, but at no cost to you? Or would you rather just pay that cost for the DLC? This is the only time I've actually thought about when would loot box be better, and this is it. This is literally it. Okay, it's enough 8 words in this. But yeah, what do you guys think? Do you guys think loot boxes kind of deserve to stay in this instance, but in other instances where they implemented wrong? I still believe loot boxes should be taken out of the equation completely, because just the majority of games do this wrong with loot boxes. Loot boxes themselves only can cosmetically upgrade you. If they're giving you a buff, then you're forced to get them, if you know what I mean. And if they're paid for, that's even worse, because you're forced to part with your money to continue playing your game at an equal level as everyone else. This is why I think loot boxes should be taken out completely. If it wasn't for these things, I'll say keep them. You can keep them for cosmetics. But yeah, what do you guys think? Do you guys think loot boxes are better than DLC/expansions? I'll just say expansions. I want to know. I really want to know what you guys think about this. This is a very interesting topic. I've thought about this. I've thought about this for a minute. But yeah, tell me what you guys think. I'll catch you guys on the next one. Later.